conspire with the Peter Whites and Larry Earleys of the world to protect North Carolina's great biodiversity. But today, we are here to honor someone with a diverse bio. My co-conspirators and I thought that honoring David would be easy. We first went to Holden Thorpe and asked him to grant a simple wish on David's behalf. Name the old well after David Perry. Holden thought for a moment and said, as much as I would like to, I haven't got the power. We were stunned. Undaunted, the co-conspirators went to Tom Ross, and I know you remember this, Tom, and we asked him for a far more simple wish, changing only two letters of the alphabet, from an E to a D, so that the oldest symbol of UNC, the Davy Poplar, would forever be known as the David Poplar. President Ross looked very sad, wiped a tear from his eye, and said, I haven't got the power to grant your wish. We then threw caution to the wind and decided to shoot for the stars and petition the gods on North Carolina's Mount Olympus, Raleigh. We crafted a prayer and beseeched the gods to accord the highest of honors to Brother David. And bear with me while I read a few words from our prayer on his behalf. Every year, North Carolina recognizes writers and teachers with a variety of well-deserved rewards. One organization, however, is often responsible for making those writers and scholars look good: the University of North Carolina Press. The editors and professional staff of this extraordinary university press on South Boundary Street identify, edit, and publish the works of talented individuals from across North Carolina and the nation. We believe that no entity has done more to elicit and preserve the story of North Carolina, historical, literary, scientific, and cultural, than UNC Press. For 36 years, no one has exemplified the press more fully than its editor-in-chief, David Perry. David was a Morehead scholar and graduated from UNC Chapel Hill in 1974. He began his affiliation with UNC Press in 1976 and became editor-in-chief in 1995. Through David's knowledge of North Carolina, his tenacity, and his people skills, he has nurtured and cajoled a generation of writers from the mountains to the Outer Banks. We know firsthand his ability to work with writers over coffee, through writer's block, and many revisions, while also knowing when to crack the whip. Throughout his tenure, he has worked simultaneously with dozens of writers, some well-established and others writing their first books. The list of authors includes a who's who of North Carolina, and this is just a sampling. Lance Simpson, William Powell, Hugh Morton, David Stick, George Ann Eubanks, Rob Christensen, Dirk Frankenberg, Tim Tyson, Michael McPhee, Norton Hadler, Catherine Beischier, John Shelton Reed, Holden Thorpe, Bill Neal, and many, many others. David's work with UNC Press over 3 decades has literally captured in print for all to see the very best of North Carolina. We concluded our prayer to the gods on North Carolina's Mount Olympus by saying that, like Bill Clinton, David is also an artist with a saxophone who loves jazz and has played in several ensembles across North Carolina. And finally, we saved the best for last. David is one of the state's premier practitioners of the fine art of barbecuing and a master of grits cookery. In short, few people have had a more positive impact on the state of North Carolina and in the preservation of its heritage than David Perry. And so ended our prayer to the gods. Now, I'll bet you want to know if the gods listened to the prayer raised on David's behalf. And for the answer, it is my privilege to introduce my Davidson friend and president of UNC System, Tom Ross.
Very easy to follow Tom. There were a couple of corrections, as normally is the case in an event like this. And the one where he said I didn't have the power, that was a shock to me. We'll go back and look at my agreement. Well, he wrote it. When I first became president, one of my early visits was to this building and to try to learn more about the press. And, you know, I met Kate and learned a lot about the press. I think I met David then too. And that, you know, it was very helpful to me to see how important the press is to the university as a whole, not just this campus, but all of our campuses. And then Kate gave us her news that she wanted to do something other than work full-time all the time, every minute. And we decided that we might allow that after some discussion. And so we got into the process of looking for what I think is the perfect successor. And in that process, you know, we talked to a lot of people, and we tried to figure out what would be the right kind of leader going forward. And what I learned from that experience is the UNC Press is the best university press in America. And it's because of the quality of work that goes on here, the staff, and the work that David has done for 34 years. It's also because of the authors that we're privileged to work with at the press, or they are, some of whom I see standing in the room. But it doesn't happen without someone who is ultimately responsible for the editing of the books and the working with the authors and producing really quality products. And that's been David, and we are incredibly grateful to him for his 34 years. I was trying to figure out what that meant in the publishing business, and since I know nothing about it, it took a little time, but David started as a typesetter, basically, and leaves in a world of digital publishing. So you can imagine all that's happened in that span of time and the adjustments that he's made one step after the next in order to continue the success of the press. And so for that, we're very grateful. And because of your service to the state of North Carolina and to the press, it is my very high honor on behalf of the governor of the state of North Carolina to bestow upon you, a North Carolina citizen, the highest honor a governor can bestow. Created in the 1960s, this award is given to residents in recognition of proven service, extraordinary service, to the state of North Carolina. And if I may, I would like to read to you and present to you a certificate that reads as follows. State of North Carolina. Beverly Eves Perdue, Governor. Reposing special... Reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of David Perry, I do hereby present and confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine. With the rank of Ambassador Extraordinaire, privileged to enjoy fully all rights granted to members of this exalted order, among which is the special privilege to propose the following North Carolina toast in select company anywhere in the free world. Now, as a previous recipient, I'm able to offer this toast today in honor of you in this select company in this place in the free world. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun does shine, where the weak grow strong, and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the Old North State. David, congratulations.
So we're going to let you talk in a minute, but not yet.
Okay. Excuse President Ross. Thank you so much for being here.
As I said, I have to go to the Capitol.